Hello and welcome back to another Bounce Back with
Sonja
and Mady. Oh my god, we're back.
We're back.
We also are blonder. Well, she's way blonder. I'm like caramel brown.
Macchiato.
Macchiato. Clearly we have not filmed one of these in a while. You start us off with the topic.
Yeah, so we thought it'd be good to talk about not letting anyone put you in a box and really just going after what you want in life, right?
Taking your power back.
Yeah, taking your power
back. Owning your life.
Right. I mean, I think so often as society, you know, we get put in a box, not because someone is intentionally doing that. It's just what happens.
We go with the masses.
Yeah.
And we think we have to be like everyone else.
And we truly don't. And I think as you get older, clearly I'm older than her. I'd hope so. That'd be odd. As you get older and you have more life experience, you start understanding that a little bit more. And it's like, who cares? Like, really, who cares? But I think, you know, for the younger generation, I mean, not even, still people in my generation think that same way. But it's okay.
Yeah.
I think
there's a lot of comparison because of social media and being online, I think.
Yeah, and then just the way, but like in my generation, my parents' generation, the way it always has been. It's got to be done this way. It's not black and white. Life's not black and white. A lot of gray. So anyway, that's kind of what we're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, we're gonna have both probably two different perspectives on this. Because I know for me growing up, you know, in a world of pretty much in my adolescence, in your high school into high school and then on, it's just been progressive of more and more social media and posting your life. And at first it started being funny and like people would just post memes and all of that. And then it became, you know, let me show my life and show the good parts and not show the bad parts. And you need to think this way. And like, you kind of just internalize that without even really realizing it. Like, oh, she has no acne on her face, so why do I have acne? And so like an example of that is like I would see these Instagram models when I was in high school and I struggled like at the beginning with some acne. And so I wouldn't even go to the store without putting on makeup on, like just to run up and grab like a toothbrush or something. And it was like those internalized things that maybe I wasn't even really aware of, but I was so concerned about, oh my gosh, people are gonna see my pimples. Like who cares? And like nowadays I literally don't care, but it's just, I think we're exposed to so much, and also with the beauty standards, especially being a woman, but this is for men too. I mean, just the standards of, you know, it's getting better. I feel like people are waking up to that, but for so long it was just like, my life is perfect. Here's my highlight reel. And then you're sitting in your room depressed and crying and you're like, my life doesn't look like that. How am I ever going to achieve something like that? Right. So I think that's kind of my perspective on that is like, you don't have to be like everyone else, and you have to, I think, doing social media myself, I really like to advocate for the fact that social media is a highlight reel and you don't see everything. You're seeing a speck or like a snippet of someone's either day or entire life or week. You can pre-film content. Like I know people be like, oh my gosh, you looked so happy though. And I'm like, yeah, I pre-filmed that video like days before I had a meltdown. Like, you know, it's not, you don't really know. And so people are people. We're all going through something, and it's important to realize that and understand that like you don't have to be like everyone else. Your path is different. There's a point to that. You're supposed to be different. You're supposed to be unique, and everyone's timing is going to be different, and you can't compare your story to someone else's, especially when you don't know the full thing. And I think that's something I've had to learn. So that's why I'm speaking about it, because it's something I really had to learn over the past few years. So
yeah, I mean, just going back to what you said, inside, I think people are starting to understand more and more. I was just at an event, gosh, a week ago. It's an organization that's opening a chapter here in LA connected to Oprah Winfrey's charity foundation. And it's really focused in, this one specifically is on moms. But one of the doctors that was talking at the event talked about how, exactly what you said, social media is a highlight reel. And when, you know, you start realizing that, when you start, not only you start realizing that, you start saying, okay, I'm not going to internalize that, but also when we start posting ourselves being more natural and just our everyday stuff and embracing our flaws, then it starts normalizing it for everyone else. And so I guess the biggest thing is, I think people are starting to understand it's more about the inside. It's more, like for me specifically, it's been about getting to peace. You know, I want to find my inner peace. What lights me up? And when you come from that peace, no matter what you're doing, when you come from that place of peace and confidence and conviction and passion about what you're doing and what you're talking about, that shines out and that makes you beautiful in every way. So you makeup, no makeup, pimples, no pimples, whatever it is, it really doesn't matter. It's more about being you and being real and being authentic.
Authenticity is is the key.
Yeah. And you can't, if you're living in a box of what your parents wanted you to do, or what, you're in a job because you're paying the bills, and that's reality. I know that happens to everyone. But when it's not lighting yourself on fire, then you start to dim your light a little bit. So it's just really always, no matter if you're in a job where you're paying your bills and whatnot, but find something outside of that lights you up, that you can embrace that inner fire or passion within you.
Yeah, and like obviously in like a job situation, obviously there's, rules and guidelines, but also being as authentic to yourself as you can be while still keeping your job. But like, I think even for me, the way I feel like recently I've been really seeing how I've been showing up in like relationships, in the sense of like friendships, family, even romantic relationships, of just not being my true self because of a fear of not being accepted for who I really am. And so I would try to dim myself, or try to like numb myself, or like do things to just kind of hide who I was, because I didn't feel like I'd be accepted or like worthy of people if they saw the real me, or if they really saw, that I wasn't perfect, and that I wasn't smiling all the time, and I wasn't always positive. And that's just being human. I think you can kind of let yourself off the hook with that, because I'm like, Mady, it'd be weird if you never cried. It'd be weird if you never got upset about something, because we have emotion, but it's also like, it doesn't have to be this big ordeal. It's just like, just be real. And so I've been, even in my content, I've always tried to be really positive and look at the positive side, because I don't want to come on and just complain. But at the same time, being authentic and being as real as I can be, and saying like, I'll go on live or something and I'll put a filter on my face because I'm not wearing makeup or something. And if I decide to do that because, just for lighting purposes or whatever, I tell them, like, if someone's like, you look so pretty today, I'm like, it's a filter, but thank you. Like, here's what I actually look like, and I'll take it off because I'm not going to sit there and be like, thank you, and not tell someone there's a filter on my face. Like, I don't want to ever be someone who is not being true to myself. And I'm not saying using filters is a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, it's just being authentic. You guys are not seeing the full picture. Like, there's a lot I don't talk about on my stuff about what I'm going through personally. And so, also I think being kind to everyone is a huge thing, because you really don't know what people are going through. Like, they may be like the smiliest person, or they show up and they act like they're fine, and you're like mad at them for something. You have no idea what's going on in their life. So to just be like caring of everyone, even the people that hurt you, it's just, send them love. Like, just don't take it personally. Everyone's going through something, and it's like, you have no idea. So
a lot of times, I've told you this for years, a lot of times when it's hard to think this way when it's happening, but it's true. A lot of times when people do something that hurts you, it has nothing to do with you. It's a projection of themselves, of something that they're dealing with. So to your point, don't take it personal.
Right.
And then something else I wanted to go back to what you said is about flaws and embracing, those things. I think I told you this recently, is just reminding you that it's really, your flaws are actually what make you beautiful. That's what makes you perfect. She said something about, because it is a lot of pressure in the industry that she's in about perfection and all this kind of, how you present yourself, right?
I think it's just because, like, also when you have a lot of people looking to you as an example, it's like you feel like you put a lot of that perfection. Like, I have to be perfect because I want them to
internal.
See my best self.
She's doing that to herself internally. And what I told her is, what is perfect? What is normal? There is no such thing. Those are constructs that someone made up at some point. And whose version of perfect and normal? What makes you perfect and normal is being true to yourself and actually embracing all your flaws and showing up for yourself and showing up for others.
Yeah.
That's what makes you beautiful.
Yeah, and also being vulnerable. I think vulnerability is like a huge thing, because it's like, I think people are scared to be vulnerable. So it's like, let me put a wall up and just not show, because again, fear of being judged. It's like fear of other people's opinions. And I think once you let that go, which I'm still working on, okay? Like, she's gotten over it, but like, she's helping me, because I'm like, I don't know. It's just the fear of like, what are people gonna think? And it's like, who the F cares?
No, she says something and I'm like, who cares?
Literally, who cares?
Like, literally.
Well, because I'm always like, are they gonna be mad at me if I like don't want to do what they want to do? If I don't want to do that, let them be mad. So that's where you take your power back.
So I don't know I think I sent this to you, but I don't know if you guys have seen this. Mel Robbins has a huge, thought initiative or whatever. She's put a lot of content out recently about let them initiative or whatever. I'm not saying the right word, but it's that thing of let them. What are they going to think? Are they going to be mad? Let them.
Yeah.
Are they going to do X, Y, Z? Let them. Who cares?
It takes the pressure off.
And it gives you peace. Like you really reclaim your peace. She was talking about, it was kind of funny. She was talking about, I think her son was going to prom or something, and he and his date were wanted to run over to this pizza place, and it was raining, and they had their, their nice clothes on or whatever. And she wanted to jump in and be like, no. But her daughter just put her hand on her arm and said, let them. And she was like, oh, so what if they ruin it? They'll have to deal with it. So what? Let them.
Well, and I think that's also like when you have that fear of like losing control. Yeah. And it's like you really can only control yourself. So when you also just let other people be who they're going to be, and you don't take things personally, and you just know I can control how I respond.
Right.
And that's where I have my power. Right. That's when you're not giving your power away. Because I remember I'd be like, well, why doesn't this, like when I was younger years when I actually like cared about dating. Now I'm like, but I'd be like, well, why doesn't he like me? Why isn't he doing this? Why isn't he doing that? And it's like, well, or like, why is this person not like showing up the way I want them? Like, why are they not like giving me the credit? Why are they not like hyping me up for like, cause I'm the one doing the work? And it's like, no, let them do that. Like you respond, be like, okay, whatever. Like I'm good. It doesn't dictate my self-value and my worth. And I think we can take things so personally, we start to internalize it of like, I'm not enough. There's something wrong with me. When in reality, it's just, they're doing their own thing. They have their own stuff going on. And you don't let people affect what you think about yourself and what you know to be true, because the only thing that matters is you, and then what the universe, God, source, angels, whatever you believe in, higher self, what that thinks of you. That's it. It's you and that source energy, and who cares about the rest? Everyone else is on their own journey. You gotta just trust and kind of let go. Like let go of the control. And I'm saying that from, I'm still, whoo, we gotta let it go, girl, let it go, let it go.
One of the things that I know you've heard me say a lot is really listen to your gut. Like, and that's never gonna steer you down the wrong path. If you really listen and you follow, it's gonna steer you the right way in every aspect of your life, whatever it is. And just like literally all the noise, all the stuff, all the outside factors, people, pressure, the box, get rid of the noise.
Throw the box away.
Turn down, I always tell her, turn down the noise. Like just, who cares? It's all noise. And just lead from your heart, lead from your authentic self, and it's never going to steer you wrong, because that path is going to be right for you.
Right.
It might not be right for someone else, but it's going to be right for you. And that's
it doesn't matter what they think about what you're doing.
Right.
I mean, I remember when I started doing like spiritual content and tarot, and I was like scared to post it on Instagram because I was like, what are all these people gonna think? Because I did it on TikTok, where I just started doing that, and everyone liked it, and it was like great. And even YouTube, I was able to like kind of just be myself. But I was weird about Instagram, and now I'm just like, I don't care. Like this is who I am. So it's like, if you don't align with it, then like that's fine.
It's okay.
But I can't hide that part of myself, because that's literally my whole career, basically, and what I do. And so it's just like not allowing what other people are going to think stop you from something that could really change your life. And that's what, like, it could have, if I did that and I was like, well, what are people going to think if I start posting this kind of content? And that's when when I actually started really growing, was when I started just doing what I wanted to do and not what I thought people wanted to see.
Totally.
And it took off, because the right people will find you. The right people will align with you. And so you never have to worry about, oh my gosh, what if this person falls out of my life because they don't like this? And it's like, well, then they're not meant to be there.
Let them.
And that's okay. Let them. Let them, literally.
Yep. No, I agree completely. I saw that when she started being more authentic and just really going with what lit her up. And this may sound cheesy, but her light started shining, really. And that's the biggest thing, is there's so much going on in this world, as we all know. I mean, so much sad things, so many bad things, so many crazy things. And the one thing that we can control is who we are, how we help others, and just shining our light in the way that we can. How we show up in the world. You might think that doesn't make a difference, but it really does. And even if it's a difference in one person's life today and in someone else tomorrow, it's, my tagline really is, I can't talk, but it's changing the world one conversation at a time, one interaction at a time.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, in your world, one thing at a time. And it really, if we all do that, we can really start making a difference.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like, let's say I just like complimented someone. I was like, oh my gosh, I love your hair. And they could have had like a horrible day that day. And then they like light up, they go to their job and they're making their boss happy or whoever, or their family. They go home and they show up as a better person to people in their lives, which is a ripple effect. And those people start acting more positive, and it just starts doing its thing. So it's not like you have to do this big grandiose thing to make a difference. And I think people put that pressure too. It's just be kind.
Just some love and kindness. I mean, people need love. They need hope.
Yeah.
And you doing one little thing can make that difference for them. That's been my experience, at least.
That's where you take your power back.
Yep. And that's how you take your power back.
How you show up. Yeah.
How you show up for yourself first and foremost.
Yeah.
Because when you show up for yourself authentically, you radiate that out to others, and you can show up in the best way. To your point, it doesn't matter where it is. It may just be in your job, like interacting with your customers or your clients or your colleagues, and then it carries back to when you walk back through the house or through the door to your family.
Right. Because when you take care of you, it helps other people, and it's like I always think about this when I start to be like, well, I don't want to just focus on me, which I don't, but what, like, I start thinking like if I focus on myself or I like heal myself, that's being selfish. And it's like, no, because like I literally always go back to this, but it's like on the airplane when they talk about like the safety precautions and they're like, put your mask on first, then help others. It's literally the same thing. You have to help yourself so you can help others. Because if you're depleting yourself, then you can't show up for the people that need you. So, and that's been a big lesson for me. So I feel like, you know, give yourself grace, let yourself off the hook a little bit. I'm not saying just like give up, but give yourself a little bit of grace, forgive yourself, and just choose to be better every single day, 1% better. Yeah.
I mean, in my life, I've had to give myself a lot of grace. We all do things that we're like, what? Who was I? What did I? Why did I do that? Where was my head when I made that decision? Or what did I even have a thought in my head? I mean, I don't know. But you have to give yourself grace. And when you start giving yourself grace, you start giving other people grace too, right? And God knows we all need it.
It's a really good topic. I felt like that was definitely something that I feel like I've been going through. So it's nice to talk about something that's like kind of current and I can relate to.
Yeah.
And she's been helping me through a lot of it. So she has her days too. She's not perfect.
Oh, I'm not.
I'm like, I look at her sometimes. I'm like, I got to take her off the pedestal.
Yeah,
I'm like, Sonja's the coolest.
There's no, I mean, I can be cool. That's okay. There's no perfection here, let me tell you. But I'm perfectly flawed. How about that?
Anyways, we love you guys. Very excited to be filming this again, and hopefully more consistently. But
for sure.
Yeah, hope you enjoy. Subscribe, follow us on everything down below. Check out our websites, and we will see you in the next bounce back. Bye.
Bye.